Say hello to the Wonderland system.
Hi, I'm Bunny.
Hey, I'm Z. What's up? Hi, I'm Oliver.
The Wonderland system is a quote-unquote polyfragmented, traumagenic DID system, approximately 22 years old. If you didn't understand a word of that, I don't blame you, since I had a bit of trouble understanding what the hell this thing is myself, too. I think it'll be best for the Wonderland system to introduce herself to you and explain what she even is.
Hi everybody, my name is Connor and I'm the co-host of the Wonderland system. It's nice to meet you all, welcome to our account. Today we're going to be doing a very small system introduction video, so let's go. Hi, we are the Wonderland system and we are a polyfragmented traumagenic DID system. We were professionally diagnosed a few months ago, but we've known we were a system for over 2 years. So yeah, we have about 204 alters right now that I know of, not counting anybody who's dormant. So yeah, as you can see, the body has slight ticks, so every single alter will have ticks. Saying that because there was confusion on our last account about the tick thing. Our body is 18, we were diagnosed at 18. There you go. I'm the co-host, my name is Connor, my pronouns are he, him. My other co-host, her name is Tilly, and her pronouns are she, they. Yeah, and I'm gonna be making my own introduction video right after this. That's the Wonderland system.
If you're still confused, don't worry, I get it. I'll explain what's going on with this individual. I'm also just gonna call her Wonderland, so I'm not saying the Wonderland system the entire video since it's kind of a mouthful. Wonderland claims to have dissociative identity disorder, or DID for short. DID is a mental health condition previously known as multiple personality disorder. It's characterized by the presence of two or more distinct identities, or alters as they're called, within an individual, with each identity taking control of the person's behavior, thoughts, and interactions at different times. These alters may have their own traits, memories, and ways of engaging with the world, and the shift between them is most often involuntary. DID forms as a mental condition due to very, very extreme trauma, specifically when the person is a child. The mind kind of creates different identities to spread apart the trauma, or something along those lines. This is obviously an extremely tricky thing to diagnose, and the condition itself is probably one of, if not the most complicated mental disorders ever. And according to multiple studies, it is one of the rarest mental disorders too, and is often misdiagnosed. DID also went extremely viral back in the day on TikTok, which, if you didn't know, started a whole fake disorder trend, where people pretend to have certain mental illnesses or disorders for whatever reason. The most common ones were DID and Tourette's. If you don't know what Tourette's are, it is a neurological disorder characterized by involuntary movement or jerking, known as tics. Wonderland herself coincidentally popped up at the height of the fake disorder epidemic, and as soon as she did, she blew up. Specifically from one video where she introduced all her so-called alters.
Hi, I'm Bunny.
Hey, I'm Z. What's up? Hi, I'm Oliver.
Hey everybody, I'm Ben. Hey, I'm Elegant. Wow! Sorry. Hello there, I am Malachi. What's up?
Hi, I'm Echo.
Hi, my name is AJ.
Hey everyone, I know I look like shit, but it's red. Hi. Hey everybody, my name's Sayori. Yo, I'm Beatrix, what's up? Hello everyone, my name is Ophelia.
Obviously, this interesting video blew up, and Wonderland herself got a lot of crap for it. And honestly, I'm not surprised. This is one of the fakest videos I've ever seen in my life. Not only did she dress up, put on wigs or props, etc. for every single quote-unquote alter, She put on different voices, unique voices, for like the 20 different alters she pretended to be. Also, coincidentally, she used different camera angles for every single alter. Isn't that strange? It's almost like she's consciously trying to differentiate these fake characters. I'll go over the whole prop and setup thing later, because right now I want to touch on a specific part of her little facade. I'm talking about her fake stutter. If you didn't notice, a few of her alters had some kind of stutter, which honestly made me cringe from secondhand embarrassment. It also quite honestly upset me a little. As someone who does stutter quite a bit, it's pretty offensive to see someone so obviously fake a stutter for internet attention. You may not notice my stutter at all or think it's not a big deal since you quite honestly don't hear it much. However, you don't see behind the scenes. I stutter a lot, which is why 20 or so minutes of audio will take me hours to do. It's genuinely that difficult, and when you see someone faking it for some flimsy bit of attention, it kinda aggravates you. But how do I know exactly that they're faking stuttering? It lies in how they're saying it. If you listen carefully, their stutter isn't from problems with speech, it's forced. For example, let's take Oliver. Obviously, this isn't something I can prove without a doubt. No one can. But just listen to the way the stutter sounds. Do you feel like it's natural or artificial? I obviously think it's fake because it sounds very forced to me. Nobody with a real stutter stutters like that. It's almost like a certain person is playing a persona for attention. And just to give you an example, a person with a stutter saying Oliver would say something like Oliver. Now let's compare it to the Wonderland system.
Hi, I'm Oliver. Hi, I'm Oliver.
Next, I want to touch on the obviously faked Tourette's from our friend Elliot.
Hey, I'm Elliot. Wow! Sorry.
Firstly, if you don't remember what I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I talked about the trend of faking disorders. DID and Tourette's were the two main ones I mentioned, and what I did not specify was that DID wasn't the only disorder Wonderland faked. Tourette's, just like DID, was an extremely popular disorder to fake, and coincidentally, at the height of the fake TikTok disorder epidemic, she somehow had Tourette's too. This specific alter, named Elliot, has Tourette's, or supposedly has Tourette's. Now, I'm not a neurological specialist, but I have done research on Tourette's for this video and for a few previous ones. I also have a good friend in real life who suffers from Tourette's, so I do have background knowledge on the disorder. And I'm not going to act like some genius on this topic. If anything, I know enough to know how much I don't know. However, it doesn't take a PhD to know bullcrap when you see it. Every character, or alter, that has Tourette's always has some weird or quirky tics. Real Tourette's isn't cute, it's very ugly. If you really look at the tics, you'll see how forced they are, and how conveniently timed they are.
Hey, I'm Elliot. Wow! Sorry.
However, back on topic, the video went very, very viral. The internet blew up due to this goofiness. People began making parodies, mocking the original video's alters, which, admittedly, it's pretty funny.
Hi, I'm Bunny.
Hey, I'm Z. What's up?
Hi, I'm Oliver.
Hey everybody, I'm Ben.
Hey, I'm Elliot. Wow! Sorry.
Hello there, I am Malachi. What's up?
Hi, I'm Echo.
Hi, my name is
These parodies weren't it, however. Wonderland suffered a lot of hate and harassment, and at one point she was forced to private her account, sometime in 2020. However, A few years later, sometime during 2024, she began uploading again. Unfortunately, she never really learned her lesson and continues to upload videos on her supposed DID. And the more she does, the easier it is to pick apart. Firstly, let's get the lore of the Wonderland system straight. She claims that she has 271 alters. Over 200 of them are quote-unquote non-humans, which include, as she says, animals, demons, elves, fairies, ghosts, goblins, and gods. Oh, and hybrids, which these ones we really don't see too much, coincidentally.
So, hi. For this question, we have this app where we track all of our system information, like types and numbers and all of that stuff, and I just checked and we have near 100 non-human alters, so a lot of us are non-human, and I made a little list of all of the species that we have that are non-human, so I'm just gonna go through that real quick. We have animals, demons, elves, fairies, ghosts, goblins, gods, hybrids, which are like, an animal and a human put together, robots, sea monsters, angels, aliens, and skeletons. So there you go, those are our non-human alters. I don't know if I said it yet, but there's around 100 of us who are that. Yeah, hope that helps.
The alters also include something called littles. Littles are basically child alters, and the Wonderland system has a few of them. I think it's with these where the fakeness becomes extremely apparent. For example, here's the first one that I was able to find, and fair warning, it's pretty cringeworthy.
Hi everyone, my name is Sky, and this is my alter intro. Sorry, I had to get my little note pulled up so I know what to talk about. So my pronouns are she, her. My age, I'm not exactly sure how old I am, I just know that I'm a little. I'm a human. My role is a trauma holder and a symptom holder. So I front during traumatic events, I help with flashbacks, I front when our symptoms are worse, so I can handle them. Types, I'm an emotional part, an EP. I'm in the main system. I don't front very frequently anymore, but I used to. My appearance, I have long blue hair. I have a lot of freckles like this. I wear round glasses. I wear a lot of sky themed stuff and a lot of blue. I if you can't tell, I really like blue. Yeah. So, what else should I talk about? So I really like horror movies and scary stuff like that. My favorite food is anything blue raspberry. Sorry, I'm rambling. I just didn't know if I was supposed to talk about more stuff, but, yeah, I guess that's it. Bye!
This next one, though, is especially important.
Hi, my name is Luna, and this is my alter intro. So I'm just gonna read off my paper here that says what I'm supposed to tell everybody, okay? Okay. So I just said my name, so we can skip that one. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a girl. Age. So it's a little complicated, but I age side from 2 to all the way to 5. Okay. I'm a human, just a human. My role, I'm a soother. So I guess I help people feel a little bit better sometimes, and I help people calm down and keep us happy. Types, I think I'm an AMP. I think so. And I'm a little, obviously I'm a little. I'm in the main system, yeah. And then I front, not as much as I want to, honestly. I used to front all the time, but I haven't fronted in a while. So that's not great.
Something I wanted to touch on with this individual is the constant dressing up for each distinct alter. If you look at actual, professionally diagnosed DID systems, you'll see that each alter more or less looks the same, and most likely you couldn't tell the difference unless you were to ask. However, the Wonderland system is a little different. Every single time we see an alter on screen, they have an entirely unique outfit on. Most of them even have specific wigs and props. Do you want me to believe that this Wonderland system individual puts on makeup, a wig, clothes, and props every time they switch alters? And about the animal alters, she's claimed she has some, but never ever specified or showed any of them, which leaves a lot of questions. For example, is there a dog alter? If that alter starts fronting, which is what it's called when they're taking control of the body, if that dog alter starts fronting, does she start walking around on all fours and pooping on the floor? I don't know. Make it make sense. Wonderland also revealed an apparent new boyfriend recently. This guy looks about how you'd expect. They made an introduction video for him and it is interesting.
Hi guys, it's Kyler and this is our boyfriend Darren.
Hello.
So we're going to be doing some frequently asked questions, just a couple. So to start off, who's he dating out of the system? The easy answer is basically all of us. Obviously he doesn't treat the littles like he's dating them because that'd be really weird. But yeah, you can do the next one.
Alright, another one I get a lot is, does littles fronting make me uncomfortable? No, they made sure to warn me a lot about like what would happen if a little fronted, and now they're basically just adorable and I love them very much.
Okay, the next one is, what if an alter doesn't like him? We haven't really run into that problem yet, and I don't know if we will, but if an alter doesn't like him, they probably just, I don't know, we'll just interact a little bit differently, but we haven't had that problem, so.
Right, and I guess I would try to win them over without pushing boundaries.
There you go. No, we have had that problem, and you did do that.
True.
So,
actually, that did happen once.
Yeah.
I think. Alright, and who did I meet first? On our first date, it was an alter named Mateo fronting, and then pretty much mostly from there, it was Dahlia, who has made a alter intro of y'all. So.
Yeah, because she was our host at the time.
Right.
She's not anymore, but... Yeah, okay, that's it. If you have any more questions, you can DM either one of us. I'll add his account in the comments or somewhere. Bye!
Bye.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We're back with our boyfriend Darren and we're going to be answering a couple more frequently asked questions. So the first one is just going to talk about switching in general, like what it looks like for us. It can differ, but even in the same system, there can be different kinds of switches, but usually ours we dissociate for a couple minutes, depending on the communication between the two alters, and then we switch. Usually they're triggered, which can be either by positive things or negative things.
And a question I get a lot is, what's it like dating someone with DID? And essentially, like, a lot of the core principles of dating, I would say, are pretty much the same. As for me, I find that I'm someone who has been gifted with lots of patience and understanding. I feel like that contributes a lot in our relationship, and I feel like just being patient helps so much. And for me, I put in a lot of time to not helping understand, but understanding y'all as much as possible, and kind of just working as hard as I can to make y'all feel as comfortable as possible. And just things like that, like switches throughout the day, just trying to keep up with who's fronting as best I can, because it makes them the happiest. But I would say it looks pretty similar to a normal relationship, just with a few extra things.
Okay, that's all we prepared for today, but if you have any questions, you can DM us and maybe we'll answer them next time or message you. Bye!
There are a few things to pick apart with this post, so let's start. Firstly, Wonderland claims that he's dating basically all of them, her words, not mine, which doesn't make the most amount of sense since all the alters have different orientations. Why would the straight male alters and the lesbian female alters be dating this regular man? Plus, what about a non-human alter or a little? I know that Wonderland said he doesn't treat the littles like he's dating them, but I call cap on that. The littles are definitely his favorites, with the non-human alters being second and the regular alters being third. But in all seriousness, this is just another piece of evidence that Wonderland is faking DID. From what I've seen through research and through watching content of actually professionally diagnosed DID systems, a whole system can't date one person. Most of them don't even date outside their own system. And the dating that I have seen outside their own headspace is alter specific, which means one alter has one specific partner. It's pretty obvious that Wonderland is faking and most likely fooling this poor random guy, which is why somehow her whole quote-unquote system is dating this one dude. Pretty suspicious, isn't it? He later made an intro just by himself, and it does provide a little more insight into him.
Hi guys, I am Wonderland's boyfriend, and I'm just going to be doing a boyfriend intro. I'm sure you've seen my comments or seen me around, but I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Darren, D-E-R-O-N. I am 19. I'm a dude, just so he, him, whatever. Don't care that much. I'm 6'3". Let's see, my hobbies include singing. I like to sing like opera. I beatbox. I like to play tennis, video games, art, pretty much all things like that. Let's see. My birthday is in like March, so I'm just like a couple years younger than Wonder. I have her over here next to me. One of the most important things to me is mental health and kind of just being supportive to all who need it. I am autistic, and when I got diagnosed for autism, my diagnoser person said I had like 90% of ADHD, whatever that means, so take that as you will. But yeah, just wanted to share a little bit about myself, and I'll put a comment down in the comments. If you want to go follow me, then I post stuff there as well. So bye-bye, have a good day.
Now we ask the question of what even is the Wonderland system. I think we can both agree she doesn't have DID, not in the slightest. However, I'm not going to sit here and pretend she's mentally okay. This is obviously a very mentally ill individual, and I would strongly advise her to go to an actual psychiatrist and get some help. She's still young and there's still time to save her. Thank you all for watching. Please comment your thoughts, it helps with the algorithm. Also like and subscribe if you do enjoy and would like to see more. Thank you and have a great day.